Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
This was a Patreon and members exclusive talking about the secret behind what's going on with Greenland and what it's really all about. Again, something I haven't seen anybody mention before. Maybe they have, because a lot of people are turning on a certain portion of their consciousness and their perceptive abilities now that's going to make it unmanageable to keep everybody under control with lies and distortion. I found this very interesting. Major General William N. McCasland, one of the three kings of UFO disclosure, went missing over the last weekend. He's the former head of Air Force Research Lab, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, mentioned in a 2016 Podesta email as the man who ran the UFO lab at Wright-Patterson. Well, you know, he's missing. They actually have a silver alert out for him. Bernalillo County silver alert issued for retired Major General William Neal McCasland, a longtime leader at Kirtland and former commander of the Phillips Research Site and Air Force Research Lab, last seen Friday morning near Quail Run Court, Northeast, and due to medical concerns, authorities are asking for community's help. If you have seen him, there is a phone number. Isn't this curious? You know, a lot's been made of this quote-unquote prophecy of Chris Bledsoe saying that the orbs are going to come and wake us up when Israel goes to war with Iran, and saying that they're angels. When you look at a lot of these non-physical plasma orbs, they are consciousness, and they are consciousness of a higher dimension than ours.
Yeah, they're beings who understand a bigger picture. Whether they perceive the way we do is unknown, because remember, everyone comes from a very different background. Us and different entities have other systems that they go by. So, it's going to be a very curious time. I think humans have a difficult time accepting other people's belief systems. Sometimes they do, but now I think we're going to be faced with learning about galactic belief systems, and that can be some very hard pills to swallow.
Oh, yeah. No, this has all been just distortion, illusion, and lies from what we've gotten from the mainstream perspective. Again, this is a general long connected to UFO programs. He was responsible for managing the Air Force's $2.2 billion science and technology program. This is huge. So, where is he? Well, Cindy could see that it looks like he's behind some bars. So it feels like somebody is holding him. Where, we don't know. Again, it's all kind of blocked out, but again, this is part of the bigger picture. We have a disclosure ongoing. Again, President Trump it was mentioned that he was going to disclose everything. Just let it all come out to us. And what do we have? We have WW3. That happens to come right before we get all those disclosures. This is exactly how things work. Why does this cloud seem to be originating from one random location? I would say the answer is that's probably an oil platform. Looking at the location off the Louisiana coast, there's a lot of oil platforms. Does that mean there's an oil platform on fire? Now, that would be something a little disconcerting, because, again, we are in the early stages of WW number 3, so anything could happen, and anything is possible at this point in time. You have a Dr. James Lacatski, who says he's seen inside a UFO. We've remote viewed inside. He says he's been part of a select few that have actually seen inside a UFO that's under the possession of the U.S., and he's willing to testify to Congress, again, under oath. We have a 2026 disclosure. Of course, there's going to be distortion and steering of people's consciousness. Yet at the same time, it should be obvious, that again, there's very, very advanced beings in play here. And it's just all coming out at the time that we are literally being faced with a WW3, and that could lead to just a massive reset like we haven't seen in our lives. This is from Irving, Texas, February 27th. The sightings continue, and the unusual nature of some of them is getting a lot of people's attention. Again, we have visitors. We've always had visitors, and when you are in key critical time periods, such as this right now with global conflict escalating, these visitors are watching human behavior, and they watch us, with many of them with just curiosity.
I have seen, laying there at night, I have seen specific uh, beings that are just curious, and when they find someone that can see them, they like to stop, and they like to talk, and they have these very, very, very unique ways of communicating, and their being and their mannerisms are so very different. And a lot of them really are, they're just curious. They're curious to watch humanity unfold, and many of them are also there to help certain star families. So we have a plethora, a huge wide brush of different entities that are here for various reasons, and many who are here to document, many are here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all sorts of different entities in play. And when you have claims of some species that say they made us, what they're really saying is they modified a body, which is just a vehicle for the consciousness to navigate this reality in. They modified a body, but they never created a soul. This is the thing. The human soul, it literally cannot be created. It can kind of be birthed as a fractal of the one source. So yeah, nobody really made you per se, as long as you're truly one of us, which there's a lot of beings out there that are not one of us. And, that's part of the realization. We probably have all encountered an entity that's not like us at some point in our lives. These crop circles, a lot of them are messages. This is from Kentucky in 2025. Yeah, again, how can beings communicate with us when our ability to communicate telepathically, which is the normal way of communication throughout the universe? Most beings communicate telepathically. Humans, again, have had certain abilities diminished or literally turned off with genetic intervention. And again, these programs to keep people toxified with heavy metals and all sorts of things to dull the senses. This is really what's been going on. We are starting to awaken, and people that do take care of their temple, their body, and do work on developing their consciousness, you're just going to keep expanding into something that's going to seem superhuman, because we are out of the Kali Yuga. But yet the Kali Yuga energies, the control system, is still in place. And right now we're just living during the times of the disintegration of that control system. So what happens next? Well, what happens next is going to be mind-blowing. Again, we need to survive these times, because these times are going to be very, very challenging. And again, we know there are certain goals. Why do they want to have a limited number of humans on the planet? Because humans, even though they are so turned off and they've had so much of their true senses and abilities diminished and or turned off with genetic intervention, they still hold more potential than the majority of beings out there. We are truly a diamond in the rough, and we are being controlled and manipulated by a very dark force that's very jealous of where we can go, because we are multidimensional. These beings that control this reality, well, I guess you could say they're literally like the the royalty of hell, so to speak. Hell being the lower fourth density, the type of beings that live there in the lower fourth density are not where we want to hang out. It's not a great neighborhood, but the planet itself is ascending. We are ascending. Many of you are starseed light workers, meaning your souls came from other planets, literally other planets, other star systems. And in order to play in this game, you had to take on a human body, a human vehicle, to fully participate in this big revelation that's coming out right now. In 1954, during a wave of UFO sightings across France, the mayor of Château du Pape issued a municipal decree prohibiting flying saucers from landing in the town's vineyards. No kidding. This ordinance is technically still on the books. This is, a French wine area. I used to love French wines, but no, now in these times, I don't touch any alcohol because, again, alcohol lowers your frequency and makes you susceptible to those demonic energies.
As much as they might say, and I know there's a lot of studies out that say, one glass of wine is okay. And, it still opens the door. It's the resveratrol, right? It's like you don't have to have the alcohol part of it. It's the resveratrol that helps the body. So alcohol can really just loosen you up to a point that you might not make certain decisions that you otherwise, would avoid. You might be very, very different than from what you think, and you might think at the time it's okay, and it only takes one.
Yeah, we are very, very. We're not partiers.
Squares.
We're kind of square guys. I mean, we don't smoke cigarettes. We don't smoke anything. We don't drink. We don't do alcohol. We don't do even prescription drugs. We do meditate every day. And we do yoga and we do Qigong. And we work out and we exercise every single day. We are as straight-laced as they come. And, we might say some things that most people think are trippy, but no, we're not tripping. I mean, when we do trip, we could do it naturally. Just because we've meditated for so long, we could hit the altered states of consciousness, which you can too. And many of you guys do. We know because we've had sessions with thousands of people all over the world. So this is a big time of revelation. Keep your spirits high, even though it's going to be chaotic. There's no getting around it. The system has to collapse. But we can work to help each other through this time as much as possible.
And that's not to say we don't believe in plant medicine. I think plant medicine is very, very valuable. At least your body knows what to do with it, as long as you're not abusing it to a point of, you can't function or you're not functioning regularly. But plant medicine can be so very useful. And it's something that nature provides, and there's so many different kinds for your ailments. I mean, I'm learning things about plant medicine that I just never thought possible. But, even everything that comes from a pharmacy point of view starts with a plant. So it's out there. It's out there.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share too that what you can achieve through meditation, and I know it's hard for people to believe this if you haven't done it yourself, is way better than what you get through those funny cigarettes, because you can get past any of those areas that you can achieve with the funny cigarettes. You can get well beyond that in a much better state. That is even more pleasurable through meditation. It just simply takes time. You just have to open up the pineal gland, activate the light body, and then really anything is possible. It really, truly is. That's the potential of humans. As always, much love. We look forward to your comments. You're invited to join us with membership on YouTube and again on Patreon as well. To make an appointment, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com. Much love, source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.